to share the outdoor experience, regardless of opportunity, skill level, or ideals. This is the mission statement of Blue Collar Outdoors. Since 2006, I've poured my heart and soul into developing an idea that would allow everyday sportsmen to share their hunting and fishing adventures. Blue Collar Outdoors was born from this passion. Recently, I've toyed with the idea of creating a platform to show these experiences, to take raw hunting and fishing video from everyday outdoors folks, and then to produce a web show with that content. This is that show. This is Blue Collar Outdoor TV. Thanks for watching this episode of Blue Collar Outdoor TV, folks. I'm your host, Ryan Yaskiw. On this month's episode, we're going to take a look at September bow hunting. First, come along with me as I go on a September archery elk hunt in the Duck Mountains. And then we'll go again for a September archery deer hunt in the Duck Mountains the following year. September is a brilliant month to hunt, and this episode is a perfect example of what happens when you put some hours in a tree stand during this particular month. Folks, September 10th, 2010, sitting in the same tree stand where I've been seeing elk in here and some whitetails, but I'm hunting a particular whitetail in here and have been particularly picky about what I've been shooting. It's been a rough go the last 3 or 4 days. It's been nothing but wind and rain and really miserable hunting conditions, to the point where it's just not safe to even be in the bush. I went to hang a scouting camera yesterday, and twice I had to look up because I thought trees were coming down on me. So I stayed out of the stand completely yesterday. Today the wind is still real high, but it's lower to the point where I feel safe in the tree at least. So simply because the forecast is for the same kind of weather for the next 4 or 5 days, I'm not going to be picky. I've been seeing elk in here, just cows. I had one encounter with a bull in here, but it's been cows. So if a cow comes in front of me and she comes within 50 yards, I'm going to take her. If the forecast was for better weather, I wouldn't, but you know, it's time to put some meat in the freezer. I've been hunting hard for 2 weeks and the bulls just don't seem to want to work this year. If I make that choice, I may regret it, but hey, you know, at least I'll have meat in the freezer and I won't regret it from that aspect. So I'm gonna settle in now and wait the evening out and see what happens. That shot. Not a good shot at all. Don't know what happened. Wind maybe grabbed the arrow. Maybe I just made a poor shot, I don't know. About 3 minutes after the shot, I heard a big crash back in there about 30 yards. Can't see her, but I know she's just back in there. And then just about a minute ago, which would be about 5 minutes after the shot, I heard 2 coughs. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe I got something of importance, because the way that shot looked in my mind and the way it's looked on the camera to me, it didn't look good at all. So I'm gonna sit until it's pitch black and then get out, come back in the morning. I'm not gonna push her. It would be foolish to push a wounded elk. So many people think they can do it and get away with it. You can't. I know I heard her crash. I know I heard her cough. She's right there. There's no reason to push her. I know where she is. I'll come back in the morning and hopefully she's still there. Well, folks, we have a recovery. Experience came into play last night when I made the poor shot on this old girl. And I decided to back out even though I heard her go down. And I'm glad I did, because the hit was a bit back. I got lucky though, and I must have severed something pretty major, because there's a lot of blood, and there was a lot of blood on the arrow when I recovered it. So, as the saying goes, sometimes you gotta be good to be lucky and lucky to be good, and right now I'm feeling really lucky. Usually when you make a poor shot on an elk, you pay for it dearly by that elk running forever. This particular old girl, she ran 30 yards and went down. So last night, instead of pushing her when I heard her go down, I waited till it was pitch black, climbed out of my tree stand, went back to camp. Didn't really sleep last night at all, but when it got light enough to pick up the trail this morning, slipped in here and just walked straight to where I heard her go down, and that's exactly where she was laying. It was right here. We're right in the peak of the rut here, and I haven't heard a bugle in 4 days, so when this girl walked out last night, I figured a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush, and took the 50-yard shot. I shouldn't have taken the shot in that strong wind condition like that, or I should have given a little more leeway for the wind. It's a shot that I'm used to shooting at 50 yards. I practice out to 70 all the time, but I don't get an opportunity to practice in high winds because my archery range is in the bush. So, you know, future reference, I'm going to start practicing for longer shots in the wind, out in the open. So we got a day's worth of work ahead of us here. I'm going to go back to lodge and grab a hand and start breaking this old girl down. I suspect we're going to just quarter and pack her, just like we did with Trevor's cow. So it's a nice end to a rather tumultuous and difficult 2010 elk season. One encounter with a bull in 2 weeks isn't really a great season, but watch, I bet you now I have nothing but encounters and I don't have an elk tag in my pocket. A lot of great lessons were learned on that elk hunt. I hunted really hard for 2 weeks, and I had actually hunted 5 years previous before I had shot that cow. I worked really hard and earned that particular animal, and I'm still very proud of this animal to this day. So now, folks, we're gonna go exactly almost 1 year later to the same general area where I had set up for some deer hunting in a great location. I had put in 170 hours on stand, and finally on the morning of September 15th, it all came together. Well, folks, what can I say? September 16th, 2011 here in the Duck Mountains, just laid down some of the most unbelievable whitetail footage I've ever captured in regards to bow hunting whitetails. For 3 years now, I've been working to try to get a mature whitetail harvest on video up here in the Duck Mountains. I've been doing that one of 2 ways. I've tried during the archery elk season, which I have failed once. That was 2009, where I shot a beautiful full velvet whitetail at 27 yards, but it was just a little too dark to video it. 2010, which was last year, I tried to capture it on video, and I was up here throughout the whole year, and I neglected to press the record button on my biggest archery buck ever, 158-inch gross 5x5. And then 2007, I tried rifle hunting, and again, just never captured on video. The weather was too wet, the video gear just conked out in the humidity. So this year, one of my goals going into the season was to capture that hunt on video. Came up here August 28th, started hunting August 29th. Opening morning, while slipping into my tree stand, just as I got to it, I bumped elk. Elk ran away. But they didn't seem to run very far, so I climbed up into the tree, and I figured instead of risking the video gear, the ratchet strap on the camera arm, spooking the elk off, I would just sit and wait silently and wait until the sun came up. Well, right at sunrise, I gave a couple of cow calls, and a young bull walked right in, gave me a 25-yard quartering away shot. I executed it perfectly. He went down 15 yards away, and I didn't capture a single moment on video. But that was just the way that hunt worked. I accept that. That's perfectly fine. I captured last year's elk hunt on video. It would have been nice to get a bull on camera instead of a cow, but you know what? There's always next year. So with my elk down on the ground, it was time to hunt whitetails. There's some super whitetails up here. I had one buck in mind. Call him the Hammerhole 4. He's a big mainframe 4x4 that I let walk a lot last year. This year, he kicked out a second main beam on his one antler, and he put on a lot of mass, and really body-wise just became your true Northwoods whitetail, just full and thick. There was a couple other bucks in that spot, the spot I call the Hammerhole, that were on the hit list. There's a Hammerhole 5, which is an old deer, sliding deer. He was bigger last year. This year his pictures were a lot smaller. And then there was just a nice 5x4, which I don't know where he came from. I got a few sets of pictures of him. He never came back. He never exposed himself. So I figured I'd play it smart this year. It seems like any time up here in the Duck Mountains you have low pressure, either low rolling in or low pressure on you, or low rolling out, the winds are too swirly to hunt effectively. So I decided this year to wait it out before I hunted my best stands for stable high pressure. I had a lot of it this year and got a lot of good hunts in, had a lot of good encounters, particularly in the Hammerhole, but in other places as well. So for the 2.5 weeks, that's what I've been doing, hunting when the weather was right, and then going to other spots when the weather was iffy. Tuesday, September 13th, I'm in the stand I call the S-Hawk. I had a bear walk out in front of me, rolled a little bit of video of him, and he started walking towards me, so I shut the video camera off. Well, the dirty dog bluff charged me without me having my video camera rolling. Quite a scary experience. I've never had a big mature boar bluff charge me before. I've always had just little two-year-olds and sows with cubs. So it was quite a scary experience, and he charged me 3 times. And on the 4th time I was going to give him an arrow. Fortunately, he just turned and walked away, and that encounter ended on a positive note instead of a negative one, with me having to shoot the bear or me getting chewed up. September 15th rolled around. It was a beautiful morning, high pressure. I knew it was the ideal day to get in the Hammerhole. I figured the deer were going to go put a mega move on. Check this hunt out, folks. I think you're going to enjoy it. Well, folks, September 15th, 2011. Just heading to the stand. I'm in that spot I call the Hammerhole. I'm doing the pre-hunt interview here at the truck because anytime I go into this stand, immediately there's deer on me. Usually quite often, within 2-3 minutes, there's a deer on me. So I figured I better do it here just as I'm going in. Beautiful day. It's a little breezy, but that's okay. It's about 8 in the morning. The bucks up here move generally between 10 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm going to try to sit till about 3. It's cool this morning. It's definitely cool. Not as cool as the morning before, but it's cool enough. I'm prepared for anything. I got my bear spray here. Got bluff charged by a bear 2 days ago, so another bear comes in to try to charge me. He might get a face full of pepper. Didn't have to use it the other day either, but it was close. So I'm gonna get walking here and get into the stand and just go in silent, set up, and see what the morning brings. hole 5. His antlers look so small because he's got such a big body. He's probably all of 130. Big mature buck. I didn't know what to do with him, but it's the second last day of the season up here. And man, what a hunt, what a morning. And it's all laid down on video. I've been in the deer all day in here since I got in. As soon as I got in, I wasn't even settled in. I had a little spiker buck up over here. And then I had this doe, the torn up doe we called her. She come in and she busted tire last week in here, and she knew something wasn't right. And then I had a little 2-year-old come through, parade right in front of me. But I've been getting pictures every morning for the last 3 days in here of mature deer between 10 and 11. And it's probably about 11:30 right now. What a hunt. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's gone. Oh wow, look at that. Look at this deer, folks. Unbelievable hunt. Just a special hunt. Not my biggest deer ever. Not even close. But horse of a mature deer. It's exactly a representative of what you can expect up here in the Duck Mountains. But this is exactly what this deer was last year. And for whatever reason, I don't know, he just never seemed to get much more bone on his head. He still has his velvet, but not by much. But what a hunt this year. This is my best hunt ever. I am willing to say that. So I better shut up. I got a little bit of work ahead of me. I'm all by myself up here, so I'm gonna have to pack this deer out by myself. It's cool today though, that's the nice thing, is you can tell by my tooth, it's probably down to about -5. He's in the shade here. I'm gonna leave some scent stuff so nothing comes in and gets at him. And come back with the knives and the kill kit and pack them out. So what an unbelievable hunt, unbelievable conclusion to my 2011 Duck Mountain adventure. I accomplished a 3-year dream of capturing a deer hunt on video up here. There you go, folks, the September hunting special. Probably one of my most favorite episodes I've put together so far this year. Next month, we're gonna have an October themed episode. First, we'll go along with team member Jerry Oliver from a moose hunt he took in 2011. And then we'll roll with some waterfowl action that I filmed with some good friends last fall. Again, it's just another example of the bounty of fall that we have here in Manitoba. So thanks for watching, folks. Take care.